You thought forgiveness was weakness. You thought letting go meant they won. But what if I told you that the very act you've been resisting is the weapon that shatters every chain they tried to bind you with? What if the forgiveness you're withholding is the key to the abundance, peace, and restoration you've been crying out for? Right now, in this moment, I am speaking directly to you, the one who has been carrying that weight, replaying those scenes, rehearsing those conversations that never happened, the one who lies awake at night with a heart that feels like stone because of what they did, what they said, what they took from you. You clicked on this message because something inside you knows you cannot move forward while dragging the past behind you. And I am here to tell you that forgiveness is not about them. It has never been about them. It is about setting you free. It is about unlocking the floodgates of blessing that have been blocked by bitterness. It is about releasing the power that lies dormant within you, waiting for you to choose liberation over revenge, peace over payback, and my voice over the voice of wounded pride. This is not just another video. This is your divine appointment. There is a prison most people never see. No bars, no guards, no walls made of stone. Yet it holds millions captive year after year, generation after generation. It is built with the bricks of betrayal, cemented with the mortar of pain, and locked with the key of unforgiveness. And today, I am reaching through the screen, through the noise, through the doubt, to place the master key in your hand. You are here because you have been hurt in ways that words cannot fully capture. Someone broke your trust. Someone shattered your dreams. Someone walked away when you needed them most. Someone took what was yours, your time, your innocence, your joy, your peace. And ever since you have been asking me why. Why did you allow it? Why didn't you stop them? Why does it still hurt after all this time? I hear you. I see every tear that fell in secret. I know every wound that never fully healed. And I am telling you now, forgiveness is not letting them off the hook. It is getting yourself off the cross you've been nailed to by your own anger. This message will walk you through 4 transformative revelations. First, you will discover why unforgiveness is the silent assassin of your destiny, blocking doors you did not even know existed. Second, you will see how forgiveness releases supernatural favor and financial breakthrough into your life, opening streams of provision that bitterness had dammed up. Third, I will show you the ancient blueprint, the same one my son used, that turns your deepest pain into your greatest power. And fourth, you will learn how to forgive, even when they never apologized, never changed, and never acknowledged what they did. I have walked with people who forgave the unforgivable and watched their entire lives shift. Relationships restored, finances multiplied, health renewed, purpose reignited. This is not theory. This is tested truth. This is the narrow path that leads to life abundant. But you must stay until the end because I have placed a word specifically for you in the final moments of this message, a word that will pierce through every defense, every excuse, every reason you have held on to that pain. And when you write it in the comments, it will become a seed planted in holy ground, a declaration that heaven itself will respond to. So right now, before we go any further, I want you to do something. If you are tired of carrying what was never yours to carry, if you are ready to trade bitterness for blessing, subscribe to this channel and type in the comments, "Lord, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and I want to hear you." And tell me, what country, what city are you watching from? I want to know where my voice is reaching today. Because this is not random. You are not here by accident. This is a divine interruption. And if you stay until the very end, I will whisper a word to your heart that will unlock something you have been praying for. Write it down when I give it to you and watch what I do next. Why unforgiveness is drinking poison and expecting them to die. Let me paint you a picture you have lived but maybe never fully seen. You wake up, and before your feet touch the floor, the memory is already there. Their face, their words, the moment everything changed. It follows you into the shower, into your breakfast, into your workday. You carry it like a second shadow, and it weighs more than any physical burden ever could. You think you are holding them accountable by holding on to the anger. You think you are protecting yourself by building walls around your heart. But here is the truth that will shatter the illusion. Unforgiveness does not punish them. It punishes you. It is like drinking poison every single day and waiting for the person who hurt you to feel sick. They have moved on. They are living their lives, perhaps completely unaware of the prison you are in. But you are stuck. Stuck in a moment that has already passed. Stuck in a conversation that is over. Stuck in a chapter that I am trying to close so I can write you a new one. Unforgiveness is a thief. It steals your joy, your peace, your sleep, your focus, your creativity, your energy. It robs you of present blessings because you are too busy guarding past wounds. It blocks prayers because bitterness creates static between your heart and heaven. It delays breakthroughs because resentment builds walls where I am trying to build bridges. I have seen people lose opportunities they prayed for simply because they could not release someone who wronged them. I have watched relationships crumble, businesses fail, health decline. Not because of what was done to them, but because of what they refused to let go of. The enemy does not need to attack you directly if he can get you to attack yourself by holding grudges, rehearsing offenses, and reliving trauma. He wins when you stay bound to your past, because it means you cannot walk into your future. But here is what most people miss. Unforgiveness does not just block your external blessings, it blocks your internal transformation. It keeps you in victim mode when I am calling you into victor mode. It keeps you reactive when I need you responsive. It keeps you wounded when I have healing waiting. You cannot become who I created you to be while clinging to who hurt you. You cannot step into the fullness of your calling while dragging chains from your past. Forgiveness is not optional if you want to walk in abundance, favor, peace, and purpose. It is the doorway. It is the reset button. It is the earthquake that breaks open every cell of captivity in your life. And until you step through it, you will keep circling the same mountain, having the same arguments, attracting the same types of people, and wondering why nothing ever changes. The answer is simple. You changed your location, but you never changed your heart. So I'm asking you right now, what has unforgiveness cost you? What doors did not open because bitterness was blocking the threshold? What relationships died because you could not release the past? What version of yourself have you never met because you were too busy being angry at who they were? If this is hitting you right where it hurts, do not run from it. Lean into it. Let this word do surgery on your soul. And if you are ready to stop drinking poison, leave a like on this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and drop a comment telling me, what are you holding on to that is actually holding you back? The supernatural economy of forgiveness. Now let me take you deeper into something most people never connect. Forgiveness is not just spiritual, it is financial. It is relational, it is physical. It is the key that unlocks every dimension of blessing I have prepared for you. You see, the kingdom operates on principles that defy human logic. The world says, hold on to what is yours, protect yourself, get even. But my kingdom says, release and I will restore, forgive and I will multiply, let go and I will give back, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Forgiveness is the currency of heaven. It is how you trade pain for power, loss for gain, wounds for wealth. And I do not just mean money, though that is included. I mean wealth in every form. Relational wealth, emotional wealth, spiritual authority, mental clarity, creative breakthrough, and yes, financial abundance. When you forgive, you create space. Space in your heart for new relationships. Space in your mind for new ideas. Space in your schedule for new opportunities. Space in your spirit for new vision. Bitterness clogs the channels through which I send blessing. It creates resistance in the flow of favor. But forgiveness? Forgiveness opens the floodgates. It removes the debris, it clears the pathway. Suddenly things start moving that were stuck for years. Phone calls come through, contracts get signed, debts get cancelled, doors swing open that you did not even knock on. Why? Because you stopped blocking your own breakthrough. I have watched people forgive and within weeks, sometimes days, receive checks they were not expecting, job offers they did not apply for, connections that changed their trajectory. This is not coincidence. This is covenant. This is how my economy works. But here is where it gets even more powerful. Forgiveness does not just open your future, it redeems your past. Every painful experience, every betrayal, every loss becomes raw material for ministry, for testimony, for influence. What the enemy meant to destroy you, I will use to deploy you. The very thing that broke you will become the very thing that qualifies you to heal others. Your mess becomes your message. Your test becomes your testimony. Your pain becomes your platform. And suddenly you are not just free, you are fruitful. You are not just healed, you are helping. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. This is the supernatural economy. You give me your hurt, I give you a harvest. You release your offender, I release your provision. You let go of revenge, I give you resurrection power in every dead area of your life. And here is the part that will blow your mind. When you forgive, you do not just get back what was taken. You get back more. The years the locusts ate, I restore with interest. The relationships that died, I resurrect with deeper roots. The dreams that were stolen, I return with greater vision. Because forgiveness is not about returning to where you were. It is about launching you into where you are going. So if you are ready to step into the supernatural economy, if you are tired of living beneath your potential because of someone else's actions, drop a comment right now and say, I release them. I receive my breakthrough. And tell me, what is one area of your life where you need restoration? Now I want to pause here and speak to your heart about something precious. This ministry, this voice you are hearing, this message reaching millions around the world, it exists because people like you said yes. Yes to sowing. Yes to supporting. Yes to partnership. If you have been touched, if this word has brought light into your darkness, and if you are able, only if you are able, I invite you to contribute with love through the thanks button below this video. It does not matter if it is much or little. What matters is the heart with which you give. For it is written, God loves a cheerful giver, and whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, but whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Every seed you plant in faith is seen by me, and I promise you, none of it will return void. If you choose to contribute, please leave your name and your city with your offering, because on the first day of next month, in a special video on the channel The Voice of God, I will personally mention your name in thanksgiving and cover you with blessings released through prayer. Your act of faith will not be forgotten. I see in secret, and I reward openly. So if it stirs in your heart, let it flow. And whether you give or not, stay with me until the end, because I still have a word to whisper into your soul that will change everything. The blueprint of forgiveness. How heaven does it. You want to know how to forgive when everything in you screams for justice? Let me show you the blueprint, not a theory, not a feeling, a blueprint, the same one heaven used when you and I were separated by sin, rebellion, and brokenness. I did not wait for you to get better before I moved toward you. I did not wait for you to apologize before I made a way. I did not wait for you to deserve it before I gave my son. While you were still my enemy, I loved you. While you were still lost, I sought you. While you were still dead, I gave you life. That is the blueprint. Forgiveness is not a reaction to someone's repentance. It is a decision rooted in my nature. It is who I am, and when you forgive, you reflect me. You become a living epistle of grace. You become a walking miracle. You become proof that my power works even in the hardest, most painful circumstances. Here is how you activate it. First, you acknowledge the hurt. Do not bury it. Do not spiritualize it away. Do not pretend it did not happen. Name it. Feel it. Bring it into the light. I already know what happened. I was there. I saw it all. And I am not asking you to minimize it or excuse it. I am asking you to release it to me. Second, you make a choice. Not based on how you feel, but based on who you are and whose you are. You say, I choose to forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because I deserve freedom. Not because it does not matter, but because staying stuck matters more. Third, you pray for them. Yes, you heard me right. You pray for the person who hurt you. You ask me to bless them, to heal them, to encounter them, and watch what happens in your own heart as you do. Bitterness cannot survive in the presence of intercession. Resentment dissolves when you start praying heaven over the person you wanted to see judged. Fourth, you release the outcome to me. You stop trying to make them pay. You stop trying to control their story. You stop trying to force an apology or a change. You trust that I am the judge, I am the defender, I am the redeemer. Vengeance is mine, and I will repay. Your job is not to get even, it is to get free. And when you truly release it, something supernatural happens. The weight lifts, the obsession stops, the mental replay ends. You stop checking their social media. You stop imagining confrontations. You stop living in the past. You step into the present, fully alive, fully awake, fully available for what I am doing now. This is not weakness. This is weapons-grade spiritual warfare. Because when you forgive, you cut off the enemy's access to your mind, your emotions, and your future. You take back territory he stole through offense. You reclaim authority he took through bitterness. And here is the miracle. Forgiveness does not mean you have to trust them again. It does not mean you have to let them back into your life. It does not mean there are no consequences or boundaries. Forgiveness is about your heart, not their access. You can forgive someone and still protect yourself. You can release someone and still require change before reconciliation. Forgiveness and foolishness are not the same. Wisdom knows the difference. So if you are afraid that forgiving means you are weak, let me correct that lie right now. Forgiveness is the strongest thing you will ever do. It takes more courage to let go than to hold on. It takes more faith to release than to retaliate. It takes more power to bless than to curse. And when you do it, you rise to a level of spiritual maturity that most never reach. If this is resonating, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And comment below, I choose freedom. I choose forgiveness when they never said sorry. This is where it gets real. Because most of the pain you carry is connected to people who never apologized. They never acknowledged what they did. They never took responsibility. They never even seemed to care. And that is the part that keeps the wound open, not just what they did, but the fact that they walked away like it was nothing, like you were nothing, and you have been waiting for them to see it, waiting for them to own it, waiting for them to come back and make it right. But they have not. And the waiting has become its own torture. Let me tell you something that will set you free. You do not need their apology to release your pain. You do not need their acknowledgement to move forward. You do not need their validation to heal. Your freedom is not in their hands. It is in mine. And I am giving it to you right now, whether they ever say a word or not. Forgiveness is not contingent on their response. It is a unilateral decision you make for your own soul. You are not forgiving them because they deserve it. You are forgiving them because you deserve peace. You are not letting them off the hook. You are getting yourself off the emotional torture rack you have been strapped to. Unforgiveness keeps you tied to them, even when they are gone. It gives them power over your today, your tomorrow, your joy, your dreams. But when you forgive without their apology, you sever that tie. You take your power back. You declare, you do not get to control my life anymore. You do not get to steal my peace. You do not get to define my worth. And the moment you make that declaration, chains break, doors open, light floods in. You realize you are not who they said you were. You are not damaged goods. You are not forgotten. You are not less than. You are mine. You are chosen. You are loved. You are whole. I know it feels impossible. I know everything in you wants justice first, apology first, change first. But what if I told you that your healing is not waiting on them? It is waiting on you. What if the breakthrough you have been praying for is on the other side of the forgiveness you have been withholding? What if the reason certain prayers seem unanswered is because unforgiveness has created a barrier between your heart and my throne? I am not saying it is easy. I am saying it is necessary. I am not saying it will not hurt. I am saying it will hurt less than staying where you are. And I am not asking you to do it alone. I am asking you to do it with me. Let me carry what you cannot. Let me heal what you cannot fix. Let me restore what you cannot recover. You bring the willingness, I will bring the power. Here is your assignment. Make a list. Write down every name of every person who hurt you and never said sorry. Do not rush it. Let it all come up. Then, one by one, say their name out loud and say, I forgive you. I release you. I am free. You do not have to feel it for it to be real. You do not have to mean it perfectly for it to be effective. You just have to start. And as you do, I will meet you there. I will take the weight. I will heal the wound. I will turn your mourning into dancing. If you are ready to stop waiting for an apology that may never come and start walking in freedom that is already yours, leave a comment. I forgive. I am free. And tell me, who is the hardest person for you to forgive? The proof is in the fruit. Now let me show you the evidence. Because forgiveness is not just a concept, it is a catalyst. It produces fruit that is undeniable. I have seen marriages on the brink of divorce restored because one person chose to forgive. I have seen estranged parents and children reunited after decades because someone finally let go. I have seen people walk away from addictions, depression, and anxiety simply by releasing the people who caused their pain. I have seen businesses explode, ministries launch, books written, songs recorded, movements started, all because someone said, "Enough, I am not carrying this anymore." The fruit of forgiveness is peace that passes understanding. It is joy that is not dependent on circumstances. It is love that flows freely again. It is creativity that was locked up by bitterness. It is favor that was blocked by resentment. It is provision that was delayed by offense. And here is what blows my mind. When you forgive, you do not just change your life, you change the atmosphere around you. Your family feels it, your co-workers sense it, your friends notice it. Something shifts, the heaviness lifts, the tension breaks, the walls come down. You become a different person, not because you are pretending, but because you are free, and freedom is contagious. It inspires others, it gives permission, it shows what is possible. Suddenly, people who were stuck start moving. People who were bitter start softening. People who were hopeless start believing again. Not because you preached at them, but because you became living proof that forgiveness works. Your life becomes a testimony that my promises are real, that my power is sufficient, that my grace is enough. But let me be clear, the fruit does not always show up immediately. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes the healing is gradual. Sometimes you have to forgive the same person 70 times 7 times, not because they keep hurting you, but because the memory keeps resurfacing. And that is okay. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle. It is a daily, sometimes hourly, choice to release, to trust, to let me be God. And every time you make that choice, you plant a seed. Every time you release instead of rehearsing, you water that seed. Every time you bless instead of cursing, you fertilize that seed. And one day, maybe when you least expect it, you will look around and realize the fruit is here. The breakthrough happened, the healing came, the blessing manifested, and it all started the day you decided to forgive. So do not give up. Do not think it is not working just because you do not see immediate results. Do not assume I did not hear you just because nothing changed overnight. Keep forgiving, keep releasing, keep trusting, and watch me work. Watch me restore. Watch me redeem. Watch me turn your pain into purpose and your scars into stars. If this message is giving you hope, hit that like button and comment. I trust your timing. I believe in the harvest. What forgiveness is not. Let me clear up some confusion, because the enemy loves to twist truth just enough to keep you stuck. Forgiveness is not pretending it did not happen. It is not saying it is okay when it was not okay. It is not excusing bad behavior or enabling toxic patterns. It is not trusting someone who has not changed. It is not opening yourself up to be hurt again. It is not forgetting the lesson you learned. Forgiveness is not stupidity. It is not naivety. It is not weakness. It is not letting people walk all over you in the name of being spiritual. That is not forgiveness, that is bondage disguised as grace. Real forgiveness is wise. It is discerning. It sets boundaries. It requires change before trust is rebuilt. It protects itself while releasing the offense. It says, I forgive you, but I will not allow you to hurt me again. It says, I release you to me, but I am not responsible for fixing you. It says, I am free, but that does not mean you get unlimited access. Forgiveness also does not mean you will not grieve. You can forgive someone and still feel sad about what was lost. You can forgive and still wish things were different. You can forgive and still have moments where the pain resurfaces. That is not a sign that you have not truly forgiven. It is a sign that you are human. Healing is not linear. It does not move in a straight line from hurt to healed. It ebbs and flows. It has good days and hard days, and that is okay. I am patient with your process. I do not expect perfection, I just expect progress. One step at a time, one day at a time, one choice at a time. And here is the beauty. Every time you choose forgiveness again, you get stronger. The grip of the past gets weaker. The power of the pain diminishes. And little by little, you become the person I always knew you could be. Free, whole, powerful, unstoppable. So if someone told you that forgiveness means you have to act like nothing happened, they lied. If someone told you that forgiveness means you have to trust people who have not earned it, they misled you. If someone shamed you for having boundaries after you forgave, they do not understand my heart. I am not asking you to be a doormat. I am asking you to be free. And sometimes freedom requires distance. Sometimes it requires limiting contact. Sometimes it requires ending a relationship altogether. And that is not unforgiveness. That is wisdom. You can love people from a distance. You can forgive people and still say no. You can release people and still protect your peace. Do not let anyone guilt you into staying in a toxic situation in the name of forgiveness. I did not call you to be a martyr. I called you to be a warrior. And warriors know when to fight, when to retreat, and when to guard what is sacred. If you needed to hear this, share this video and drop a comment. Forgiveness with boundaries is still forgiveness. The ripple effect of your release. Here is something most people never consider. Your forgiveness affects more than just you. It impacts your children, your spouse, your friends, your co-workers, your community. Unforgiveness is generational. It gets passed down like a family heirloom nobody wanted. Your parents did not forgive, so you did not learn how. You hold grudges, so your kids will too. You stay bitter, so bitterness becomes the culture of your home. But when you break the cycle, when you choose to forgive what your parents never forgave, when you release what your grandparents held on to, you do not just set yourself free, you set your lineage free. You become a generational curse breaker. You become the pivot point, the turning point, the place where the old pattern stops and the new pattern begins. Your children will not have to carry what you refuse to release. Your grandchildren will not inherit the bitterness that poisoned your family tree. Your bloodline will know peace because you chose it first. Your legacy will be forgiveness, not grudges. Grace, not judgment. Freedom, not bondage. And the ripple effect does not stop there. When you forgive, you give others permission to do the same. When you model it, you make it possible for people who thought they never could. When you tell your story, you become a catalyst for someone else's breakthrough. That person sitting in their car right now, tears streaming down their face, wondering if they will ever be free. Your testimony is what tips the scale. Your obedience is what opens their prison door. Your courage is what gives them hope. Never underestimate the power of your yes. Never minimize the impact of your obedience. You are not just healing yourself, you are healing everyone connected to you. And here is the eternal perspective. Forgiveness on earth releases activity in heaven. When you forgive, angels move. When you release, demons flee. When you let go, chains break in the spirit realm that were holding back not just you, but people connected to your assignment. You have no idea how many blessings, how many opportunities, how many divine appointments have been delayed because unforgiveness created a blockage in the spirit. But the moment you release it, the moment you say, I forgive, it is like a dam breaking. Everything that was held back comes rushing in. Suddenly doors open. Suddenly favor flows. Suddenly things line up that were out of alignment for years. This is not mystical, this is biblical. This is how the kingdom operates. What you bind on earth is bound in heaven. What you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. And when you loose forgiveness, you loose blessing, breakthrough, and abundance in dimensions you cannot even see yet. So understand this. Your forgiveness matters. It matters to me. It matters to your future. It matters to your family. It matters to the people you have not even met yet, who will be impacted by your story. Do not let the enemy convince you that holding on to that grudge is no big deal. It is a huge deal. It is a kingdom deal. It is a destiny deal. And I am asking you right now, will you release it? Will you let it go? Will you trust me enough to put it in my hands and walk away free? If your answer is yes, comment below. I release it all. I trust you with the outcome. So here we are. The end of this message, but not the end of your journey. You came here carrying weight. Some of you have been carrying it for so long, you forgot what it feels like to stand up straight. You have been bent over by bitterness, crushed by betrayal, imprisoned by pain that someone else inflicted but you have been maintaining. And today, I have given you the key, not a theory, not a platitude, a real, tangible, practical, powerful key called forgiveness. And now the question is simple. Will you use it? Will you unlock the door? Will you walk out of the cell you have been living in and step into the freedom I purchased for you? Or will you keep holding on, keep rehearsing, keep waiting for something that is never coming? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. I will not force you to be free. I will not manipulate you into healing. I will simply stand here, arms open, offering you a better way, a way that leads to life, a way that leads to peace, a way that leads to abundance in every area, spiritual, emotional, relational, and yes, financial. Everything I have spoken today is true. Every word is backed by my nature, my promises, my power. But it only becomes real in your life when you apply it, when you take what you heard and turn it into action, when you stop agreeing in theory and start obeying in practice. So tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to do something. I want you to get alone with me. Turn off the distractions, silence your phone, close the door, and I want you to have an honest conversation with me about every person who hurt you. Do not sugarcoat it. Do not spiritualize it. Just talk to me. Tell me how it felt. Tell me what it cost you. Tell me why it still hurts. And then, when you have poured it all out, I want you to say their name and say, I forgive them. I release them. I trust you with this. And watch what I do. Watch how the weight lifts. Watch how the atmosphere shifts. Watch how your heart begins to soften in ways you thought were impossible. And then, I want you to come back to this channel. Because this is not a one-time encounter. This is a relationship. This is a journey. And I have so much more to say to you. There are messages coming that will build on what you learned today. Messages about identity, about purpose, about the specific calling I have placed on your life, about the doors I am opening that no man can shut. This channel is not just content. It is a lifeline. It is a meeting place between heaven and earth, between your heart and mine. So subscribe if you have not already. Turn on notifications. Make this a daily habit, because the more you hear my voice, the clearer your path becomes. The more you soak in these truths, the stronger your faith grows. The more you engage with this community, the less alone you feel. You are part of something bigger than yourself. You are part of a global family that is choosing forgiveness, choosing freedom, choosing faith over fear. Before you go, I want you to do one more thing. I want you to scroll down to the comments right now and type these words as a declaration of your faith, as a seal on what you have received today, as a confirmation that you are not just a hearer, but a doer. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Write it with boldness, write it with confidence, write it as a prophetic declaration over your life. Because you can. You can forgive the unforgivable. You can release the irredeemable. You can walk in freedom even when everything around you says you should stay stuck. You can do all things, not because of your strength, but because of mine working in you, through you, and for you. And when you write those words, something shifts in the spirit. It becomes a stake in the ground, a line in the sand, a moment you will look back on and say, that was the day everything changed. I love you. I am proud of you. I see how hard you are trying. I see how much you have endured. I see the strength it took just to press play on this video. And I am telling you, your breakthrough is closer than you think. Your healing is happening even now. Your freedom is not someday, it is today. So take a deep breath, let it out slowly, and step into the newness I am creating. The old is gone, the new has come, and it started the moment you said yes to forgiveness.